Hello! For our final project, we worked on the database BARD for an application to create a crowdsourced question bank that is designed for self-testing for university courses. We believe that this system could be very useful in helping students to study for a course by practicing with questions submitted by their peers. We have structured the database in a way that allows the student to submit a question and a set of possible answers, which other students can then answer, rate, and comment on. Instructors can also submit questions and they have the authority to approve questions that they deem worthy. Finally, users can keep track of their performance in a course and determine their mastery by unit or by test.
This is our UML diagram. It all starts with the user, who can either be a student or an instructor. Because instructors have special privileges, we have an instructor subclass that helps us distinguish which of the users are professors too. Because we have users IDs for all users, students can post questions and leave comments anonymously. Obviously, we can set up the program such that the instructor can see which user ID belongs to which student. We then have two association classes, subscribe and teaching. Subscribe links the user table to the courses table, and it lets us know which courses a particular student is taking. Teaching links instructors to the courses table and lets us know which course a particular instructor is teaching. As we can see, students and instructors can be studying or teaching multiple courses. A course may have multiple instructors too, which might be the case sometimes.
Let us turn our focus to the question table. When a user submits a question, the user has many options as to what type the question will be. If you look closely, we have num options and num correct options in the questions table. Num options is an integer value where 1 means it's a short answer type question, so the user can rehearse the answer and check by themselves. A value of 2 means a multiple choice with 2 options. This is primarily designed for true-false type questions, but it can be used for other questions with 2 answer choices. From then on, we can theoretically have as many options as the submitter wishes, but we foresee that the most common will be 4 or 5 multiple choices. The number correct options field is also an integer value with a minimum value of 1. This field tells us how many correct options there are in the answers that will be displayed as part of the question. This enables a user to submit a multiple choice question with multiple correct answers, which we can deploy in the encapsulating program.
The question table is linked to the unit table, so the submitter can specify which unit a question belongs to within a course. This will enable other users to view all questions within a course. We also have a little option here which lets users specify what test a specific version is geared towards, and it's called test num. Finally, you can see we have some tables and association classes that have peripheral functions. User performance logs a user's performance in a given course. With Q rating, users can rate different questions, which will help them sort questions based on those ratings. Users can also comment on different questions and participate in a discussion, which the instructor is very welcome to join.
Moving on to the actual implementation of the database, we have a few queries lined up to go over. The first one that we'll examine finds a user's performance in a given course. You can see here that we select course ID 0 and user ID gang green. In the actual implementation, these values would most likely be passed to us by the user interface. If we run the query, we see a value of 0.75, which means that user gang green has correctly answered 75% of his question. Our next query lists all the questions approved by a professor for a given course. In this specific example, we're going to be examining course ID 3, which happens to be a Spanish course. When we run the query, we'll see that question number 11 with this body has been approved by the professor. The last query we'll examine today lists all professors that a particular user has studied under. As we note here, this may be useful for suggesting other courses to a user. When we run the query, we see Professor Rose Hall has taught courses that user Mel Parker has taken. Given more time, we would love to be able to restructure the entire database to reduce the dependency on courses, which could potentially allow users to have personal, private testing. Additionally, we could change course representation so that it better aligns with university course catalogs, allowing a course to remain stable across semesters instead of being recreated.